Alrighty guys, I am going to show you how to make a flat top set. It is a very deadly set. It was developed by pro trapper Rusty Johnson, who was actually Mark June's partner a lot of the time. And you can see the set directly from him in their DVD, Coyote Trapping, Reducing the Numbers. And he'll do a lot better demonstration than I'll do, but I'll try to do my best. Maybe it'll help y'all catch more coyotes. And it's a really deadly set. I've caught a lot of animals on it. And just at this location, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but just to the north of this trap, there are 3 catch circles. One from a big old boar coon I caught just now, one from a coyote, and one from a skunk. So you can catch bobcats, coyotes, fox, coon, just about anything on these sets. So let me grab my equipment and I'll show you how I do it. So the set construction is actually quite simple, but with the main thing about this set, what you have to do right definitely is how you bait and lure it. And I'll show you how Rusty Johnson advised to do it, and I do it the same way because he's the one that invented it. He's had a lot of luck on it. I do it just the way he does, and I have a lot of luck on it. So let's get busy. Just we got this our backing, just a bunch of old tumbleweed here and a bunch of leaves are blown into it. Makes a good bit of backing. You want to make sure your backing is never over 5 inches tall, because you'll have the coyotes start standing way further out. Fox, bobcat, stuff like that, they'll come right into it. But coyotes will start standing further and further out. If you keep it below 5 inches, they'll stand normally. The biggest percentage of the time they'll stand back from the attract end, about back 9 off 3. I mean, just the classic. But if you start getting it bigger than that, they'll start standing much further back, and it's going to be much harder to catch them. So make sure your backing stays natural and stays low. So we'll measure, our backing's here, so we'll measure back about our middle finger and our thumb. Measure back, put our trapper right there. We want the pan to be exactly where our thumb was back from the backing. So I actually have some decent dirt to work with today. Most of the time it's rock and caliche, at least in my area of the state. Go ahead. This is the trap that I got those 3 animals in. I don't take them back and retreat them after I'm done. That's, in my opinion, that is totally unnecessary. Unless you catch a skunk and he sprays the trap, then yeah, you better bring it back, because this kind of is going to smell like skunk under there. But if you just caught animals like coons and coyotes, or even if a skunk, if it doesn't hit the spray the trap, you're fine. I have never ever had a coyote dig a trap up because he could smell it. I've rarely ever had anything dig traps up, and I don't. Scent control is really blown out of proportion. The main problem if you're having traps dug up is probably from improper trap bedding. Either that, or you're using something like cotton or polyfill under the pan instead of a pan cover. They can smell that, or the rodents are smelling that they're tunneling under your trap. And to get that, that's where your problem's coming from. Around here, we don't have to drive it much more than a foot. It'll hold fine. Set that anchor. We'll take our little wire brush here. Since we got something in there, some mud caked up on the jaws and whatnot, go ahead and just brush that off. Make sure those jaw faces are nice and smooth. We are using a Duke 550 Offset Pro Series. Here. Okay, our trap bed is a little too deep. Fill that in a little bit. You don't want it sitting too high, you don't want it sitting too low either. fabric pan cover. I use landscaping fabric, but I ran out of those, so I had to make do with wax paper. It works. They work just as well, but they're a lot. Takes a lot longer and they're a lot harder to make. So I have more landscaping fabric pan covers working on the way, but I have to let them air out. I made a bunch, but they do have a smell, so I have to let them air out for a little while. So I just made just enough wax paper covers to get me through. But find our pan. And you want this bedded extremely well. For success, you've got to have good location, and you've got to have proper trap bedding. And a lot of guys will tell you put a low spot over the pan. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I would encourage it. But what a lot of guys do is they leave a low spot over the trap and not over the just the pan. And the coyotes, a lot of times, believe it or not, will shy away from that. And this was actually pointed out to me by Goe. During my 3rd season of trapping, they always said, you know, leave a low spot over your pan. I was leaving it over my trap. I think a lot of other guys do the same thing. When I went on a ride along with Goe, the owner of Goe Trapping LLC, he told me that people had told him the same thing and he never had any luck with it. Until he realized I'm putting a low spot over that trap. I'm not putting it just over the pan. What he would do is, once he got his trap bedded, he would stick his hand over just the pan like that, and he would fill dirt in around, and took it away, smooth it out, and my pan cover's sticking out. That's not good. And sift around, leave his hand right there. Move all this dirt around, get it all leveled out, and then pick his hand up, and there'll be just a low spot just over the pan. But I've had just about as much luck just using a level trap pattern and using good blocking. So whatever works for you, whatever suits your whistle. But he said as soon as he started making sure the low spot was only over the pan, he was catching coyotes and catching coyotes and catching coyotes. So just a little food for thought there. Alright, our trap is solid. Measure back 9. I'll take my drill, then I got a 1/2-inch auger here. And when Rusty Johnson did it, he just used his earth hanger driver and he just wallowed out the holes, but I'll find when I do it in my type of soil, it just fills in. So measure back 9, and I'll go on either side of the dog and go straight down. Just a little. Another one there, the other side. Okay, it's just wanting to fill in. I mean, these things don't have to be perfect. You wish you needed just a little bit of a hole there going straight down on either side of the jaw, not very deep. And then this is how you bait it. You're gonna want to bait these sets. You want to use a fresh, non-tainted bait that the animals are gonna want to eat. For this set, we're gonna use. You can use one bait or you can use 2. I prefer to use 2. So if they don't like one bait, they hopefully like the other. Use a little Young's Ambush. This is the beaver-based bait. It's fresh, it's not tainted. If it's tainted, they'll just roll on it and leave. Or they won't want to eat it, and they ain't going to spend very much time with your set. And there goes the last of that container. I'm out. And I'll also use some of PredatorPotion's Predator bait number 1. This is also a fresh beaver-based bait. This is some good stuff. I definitely recommend it. There's almost a sweet smell to it, as does a Young's Ambush as well. And I usually, with fresh bait, I'll use a decent amount. About a tablespoon or so. It's gonna make them stay there longer. It gives them something to eat, move their feet around, go back and forth. They eat it from each hole. And I've even used food lures, and I have had limited success with that. but I have more success with a good fresh bait than I do with a food lure. And then this is optional. You can put urine or a gland lure at the set if you want to between the two holes. And what I've been catching these animals on at this particular location is a combination of those two baits with some of Southern Snares mink urine. Just a good change up. Something different from the normal coyote or bobcat or fox urine that make them stop and work the set if they're getting wise and wary to your other techniques. So then we're just gonna, hands right there, we're just gonna take some natural little small stuff, nothing big, and we're just gonna sprinkle it around the set, guide that animal's foot straight to that pan. And remember, animals tend to work a set at a 45-degree angle. They come in like this, check it out, and leave. Fox, a lot of times, I believe they also come in at a 45, but they'll circle the set a lot of times. Most of the time, coyotes, they might circle it once, and then they're out of there. Most times, they'll just come walking in at 45, check your smells out, and away they go. So, I'm gonna put a big one right there, make them go in and out just like that. Just a few small things, nothing's gonna hold the jaws open or anything. Just too big. That is the completed set. So I hope you learned something. Hope this set produces for y'all. It is 2 days before Christmas right now, but I'm sure by the time you all see this, it will be after Christmas. So I hope y'all had a Merry Christmas. See y'all in the next video. Hope you enjoyed. And if you have any questions about this set, leave them down in the comments.